Hello and welcome to the Late Night Knits podcast with me, Alex. So yesterday was Distaff Day. Historically, this day is basically when women would sort of go back to work to spinning flax or spinning wool. And yeah, it sort of signifies the end of Christmas and beginning of the new year and back to work really, which, to be honest, it does feel a bit like Christmas is over now. The day before Distaff Day is 12th night, and that's traditionally when you take down all your Christmas decorations. So yeah, that's what we did, which I always think it's a bit sad. I'll just sneak in this little poem. It's by Robert Herrick, who's a 17th century lyric poet. And yeah, my sister sent it to me because I was talking about St Distaff's Day and that workshop that I went on. So yeah, I'm going to read it. Partly work and partly play, ye must on St Distaff's Day. From the plough soon free your team, then come home and fodder them. If the maids a spinning go, burn the flax and fire the tow. Scorch their plackets, but beware that ye singe no maiden hair. Bring in pails of water then, let the maids bewash the men. Give St Distaff all the right, then bid Christmas sport good night. And next morrow everyone to his own vocation. If you've watched part one of this like little sort of two-parter that I've done, then you'll know that I went on a distaff spinning workshop at Berrycroft Hub. So Berrycroft Hub is set in Swindon, Oxfordshire. It's just a farm with so I kind of trundled down this road where there are like loads of thatched cottages and stuff, and if you watch part one you'll see the general environs of Oxfordshire and Swindon are gorgeous. Sally Ann suggested a place for me to go to eat, but they were fully booked, and it looked lovely, but instead I went to somewhere called the Blowing Stone, which is like this little bar place with like oak beams and stuff and a nice outdoor area, and it's kind of a bit hidden and like had loads of hedges, and on the website last year it looked quite like a funny place. It was really nice. It had just had like a quirky website that was like historical, and I can't find it online now, but it just looked like really kind of a bit different, and it's got all these hedges so it's quite hidden, but apparently if you blow into the stone that's in the garden it's in Kingston Lisle, it makes a funny noise and it's like brr, brr, like a trumpet. It's probably not COVID secure, and I didn't know this when I went there, but it's really funny to listen to online. Anyway, I've put the Wikipedia link and the link to it. They were really friendly. You know, when the staff knows, I was wearing a Biffy Clyro shirt and they were like, Biffy Clyro, and I thought, yes, I like you staff, you know about Biffy Clyro. This must be a good place. It's fairly smart, it's really cosy. Anyway, so I went there. But yeah, I definitely go back to see all around there. So the reason I went was Berrycroft Hub is like a research and education facility for people doing experimental archaeology. They do distaff spinning workshops. Sally Ann Spence runs it, and I heard about it because my friend at Pario Gallico, on Instagram, she does like ancient pigment painting and gets to paint with brushes and make your own brushes with horsehair and things. So I think I heard about it from Instagram from them because her and her partner he does blacksmithing. So there are like loads of like there's always some course that you look on the events and go, oh I want to do that, I want to do that, I want to do that. And like a few of them are sold out, but you know they've always got more going on. So I went on this distaff spinning workshop. And I've never done it before, but I started doing a bit more living history with a group of people who I used to work with, and yeah, we're having loads of fun at the moment. And but we did this one event, the Battle of Evesham, in Evesham, and it was I wrote down what year it was. Oh, I spilled my tea. 1265, and I wanted to be historically accurate. So what I decided to do was go on this Distaff Spinning workshop. It was just a day workshop, and just find out a bit more. I'm not really into drop spindling, and I've got a spinning wheel, which if you've been watching my Instagram at the moment, I've been making some really colourful things. And here, this is a distaff. I'll insert a picture later of me dressing the distaffs. Firstly, use medieval combs to comb, or I had a bit that I drum carded and that was fine. I just laid the fibres quite straight, and then you sort of wrap it around this, and then you can pull it from the bottom and just pull it into the spindle. So yeah, it's basically a stick with some wool attached. And I got this little pig for my sister. I have to give it to her. It's got a little distaff. Well, I made it have a distaff. It's got a star usually. Anyway. This is really rough, but basically you just have like a layer like this and another layer, and then you lay your stick or distaff, and then you just roll this around and then tie it on loosely with a bit of ribbon, and then you start pulling out from the bottom. And we used a lovely Klin wool, and I think some people had Portland for when we did the course, so it was really lovely to have all this British wool that we were using. And actually, though, I find Portland is quite nice to spin with, and Klin. What I'm looking at, where is it? I think it goes like that, yeah, because I was trying to get the weight at the bottom. So hoping you can see this, but this is a medieval spindle, and so this is your normal kind of drop spindle. You have this big wall at the bottom, and on this one it comes off, but I think on modern ones it might stay on. And you have a little hook here, and you get your wool, and it kind of hangs like that, and you spin it. With this medieval spindle you have this pottery wall that's quite cool, and it just sticks on, and it's just a stick basically. And I'll just pull that bit off, and all you have to do is wrap it around, and when it comes off the top you can kind of see the I never said it was easy, but it kind of clicks. You spin it and it clicks off the top, so that it has to be at a certain angle. I don't know if you can hear that, but it kind of clicks off, and that's what creates the twist in it. And yeah, you can do it just in your hand. Oops, I think usually there's pictures of women like this. There is a way that you can keep this spinning, which, like I was saying, I'm sort of connected to the spindle while I'm doing it, but there is a way where you can spin it for a bit and then twist it up, but I haven't quite figured that out yet. So the facilities at Berrycroft Hub were really good. They had like an urn for coffee and tea, and like a toilet right there, and there were like so you were in the barn, but it was only a little walk, like maybe 10 or 10 or 20 metres to go to a little area that has a toilet, and they have a full lab that you can go in and do research. And then they've got this, oh yeah, I forgot, they had this walled garden as well. You just walk around the back, and they had all these sculptures of like boar and things like that. And oh yeah, Harry the little jackdaw, he'd like come and jump up, and like he had a little bath in this tray right next to my chair. I was like, what? Because they raised him, like I think he got stuck on a heater or something, and if you look on their Instagram, there's some little stories about him. So they've raised him, and he's kind of house trained, and I think they have a few jackdaws that are like that, just, and they're really clever. So we sat and had our own sandwiches in the garden, and yeah, that was really nice. I can't remember, was there cake? In my head there was cake. I'm not sure if that was true or not. Maybe. I feel like lemon drizzle cake coming into my head. Maybe someone else remembers. Anyway. Yeah, so it's just a really nice environment, and Sally Ann was just chatting and like making sure everyone was alright. So I was hoping to do some knitting for the medieval stuff, but then as we were talking about Distaff Spinning at the workshop, Jane was saying that they didn't really do that much knitting earlier on, and actually I was looking in the oh, what's it called? Bishop Rutt's History of Hand Knitting. Yeah, in that book he said that they did it a bit later, but they did do knarl binding, and it sort of depends what countries you're in as to how early they took up knitting or colourwork knitting and things. I'll show you a bit of weaving that I've done using the stuff that I did on the medieval distaff, putting it it's just on a little embroidery hoop, but just to show you weaving singles. So this is probably not going to be the best demonstration, but so this is some of the wool that I've used on the distaff, and I'm just going to weave it in this little embroidery hoop I made myself, you can see. All I did was drill, I think it was 2.5mm holes there, and then I've just put this quite strong wool through. I can't remember what I used. It might actually be better to use cotton or something, because that's going to have less elasticity in it. Anyway, but I used that. So yeah, in the medieval period they probably would have done more of this kind of weaving from singles. They would have done more weaving from singles than knitting. So I don't have a shuttle, and I like to keep a long strand of thread. I'm getting on pretty well so far. I decided not to show it to you because as I'm doing it, my hands get in the way and you can't see it very well, so I'll just show you as I go along. I was just gonna say, if you wanted to do a little bit of weaving yourself and you didn't have an embroidery hoop or anything, I've just done this. I've cut some notches in a bit of cardboard, and then I'd probably put a thicker bit of cardboard, but you can see, you can get underneath these strips that are basically just wrapped around these notches, and make them nice and tight. And actually I would probably use a coffee stirrer in hindsight, and you can move this so that you've got a bit of a shed, which is basically the hole in a loom that means you can put wool through, or whatever fibre you're using, and yeah, you can just weave back and forth over and under, and this is a really easy one to do, and yeah, I think that's a really fun want to do. You could probably make a coaster if you did use that, so maybe I'll do a tutorial. Would you be interested for me to do a little tutorial on how to make one of these? Yeah, just comment below if you want to, and then maybe I'll spend some time making a slightly better cardboard one. And I can show you. I think it's looking lovely so far. Yeah, I think I might do another little bit. I'll see if I have time. So I think I'm going to leave it at that for the moment. I'd really like to get this a bit fatter, so maybe in another video I'll manage to get that distaff a bit bigger. Let's just zoom in there. I love these colours from Die Candy. They're a bit more tealy in real life. I've really enjoyed just learning a new skill and going to Berrycroft Hub and doing all that, so that was really fun. So I'm just really glad that I've managed to get this video out and show you all about distaff spinning, and hopefully encourage you maybe to do a new skill, maybe learn a heritage craft. And there are plenty of people out there who have these amazing skills that you don't really see in normal life, and is a real insight into how people lived back in the day. So yeah, thanks for watching, and maybe I'll talk about another heritage craft next time, and I'll do some more sort of devoted videos because this has been really fun. And yeah, so they did have gnarl binding, but that might be another one that I have to do a course on because I can't. It's quite tricky, and I'm sure it's like easy, but it's just the starting it that I was finding trouble with watching videos, so maybe I have to go on a course. I'm sure Sally Pointer or Nidevil Near will have a course. I did get a book, but I just don't think I don't like following a book, because I mean some books are alright, but I like to watch a video so you can really see where someone's hands are moving, what they're doing with the wool. Is the wool going over or under? And in a picture you can't quite see that step by step bit. Anyway, gnarl binding, that's for another day maybe. I've already got too many hobbies already. Ooh, I wrote down something about Berrycroft Hub. And I wasn't going to be able to remember it, so I thought I'd just read it. Berrycroft Hub is a busy research centre that runs workshops, lectures, courses, talks and media events by experts in their various fields. And I almost forgot to say about the dung beetles. Sally Ann loves dung beetles. There's loads of pictures of her like smiling with poo. And like looking at beetles. Yeah, they're doing some research, loads of research, and she started dung beetles for farmers. I think that's what it's called. So, oh yeah, I wrote down other things they do. So gnarl binding or gnarl binding, that I mentioned just now. Conservation projects, sword making. Oh yeah, they do sword making, like casting pewter. I think it's pewter. Casting pewter brooches and things like that. Blacksmithing, yeah, I mentioned that. Cordage, pottery, archaeology, flint knapping, which flint. Yeah, that's good for making fires as well. Yeah, painting, and I did have a bee candle that I was going to show you, but I have no idea where I've put it now. Yeah, they do a fully equipped lab. That's pretty good, isn't it? And they do the Downland and Dung Beetle project if you're interested in that. And there's a journal. There's a journal called Exarch, which is all to do with experimental archaeology if you're interested in that sort of stuff. I think it's really cool to actually do things to give you a bit more of an understanding of how people live, because sometimes you read something and think that's a bit of a weird thing to do, and then you'll do it and go, well, yeah, of course you would do it that way because that makes sense, which I can't think of an example right now. But yeah, experimental archaeology is cool as well because you get to do things that you've never done before. It sounds like they've got a lot of things lined up, although obviously COVID has just, you know, for the events industry, it's just really tricky, isn't it, trying to do anything. But we're really excited, Lady Lippett's household are really excited to like do some new stuff, and it's like a group of people. We used to work together, used to volunteer together, so we've all like known each other for years, but like not always been at the same place at the same time. So it's really nice to see a lot of people together and talk about what we're doing. Yeah, so that was just a really lovely trip that I went on, and it was so great, you know, after COVID and everything, and between lockdowns and all the uncertainty, it was just really nice to go somewhere, just really, and go up on the hills and see those gorgeous views. If you haven't watched part 1 of this Distaff Spinning video, then go to that one, and it's just so peaceful and lovely up on the hills in Swindon, so that was really nice. I do have a coffee page, which is basically you can put a little £3 donation or however much you like, and it just means I get a bit of money for the time, the tea and the tech that it takes to make these videos. I have taken out quite a lot of time today to like tidy this area and like sort out some fun things to show you, I think. So yeah, and a little donation can help to keep me able to sort of set up more content and get some more interesting things for you to see. And thanks for watching, because yeah, it's really nice to have people liking and subscribing. I've got like 100 and something subscribers now, which I never would have thought at the start of last year. So if you're watching, please subscribe, and that will help other people come to the channel as well. And buy my wool. If you like this lovely wool that's sitting next to me, then you can go to my Etsy shop. It's all local to Charlcote Park in Warwickshire. If you've ever been there, they've got deer and Jacob's sheep, and it's just lovely. So this Jacob's wool is, yeah. Well, if it doesn't go, I'm going to have to make myself an amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, aren't I? So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.